All right, welcome back to another monthly market update for real estate here in the Central Okanagan. This time reviewing the real estate stats of August in 2025. So over the last month, what happened? Well, things got pretty quiet. If you watched my last video, you heard me talk about how we generally do start to get a slowdown around mid-July in the peak of summer. And that usually carries on and transitions anywhere from the middle to end of August as people are on vacation and people are getting back and they're anticipating getting their kids back to school, and things can tend to get a little quiet. And based off the stats that we're going to review, that's exactly what did happen. We are still chugging along here in a buyer's market. We have had a slight slowdown. We usually start to see a pickup through September and into the fall, which kind of shuts off around end of October as we get into November. And that's just the traditional ebb and flow that we see in real estate for most years. Now, certain years we can see more of an improvement, more of a decline. And this year overall has been a quieter and more challenging market, depending on what side of the table you're on. More challenging for sellers, but definitely an opportune time for buyers still. Hopefully we start to see some decreases in the Bank of Canada's overnight rate, which is going to help uplift the market early into 2026. But we will have to see how things play out. As of right now, when we take a look at the stats, the Bank of Canada's overnight rate still maintains at 2.75%. We have another rate announcement on September 17th. So we will see what the bank decides to do. And this is the first one in a while that I do foresee them doing a slight quarter basis point drop, but we will have to see. I've definitely been wrong on that before. But just the way things have been going over the last month, I predict they are probably going to lower the rates even just slightly before the end of the year here. And as I said, we are still into that buyer's market. Over the last month, we got even deeper into that, looking at an absorption rate of 8.81%. So if you are a buyer coming to the market, realistically, I couldn't think of a more opportune time. I mean, you never know how the way things are going to go. 2026 could be that again, but there's always a likelihood that the market's going to start to trend in the opposite direction, even slightly, and probably head to a balanced market. I did predict that for 2025 getting into the balanced market, but we just didn't see that. And that's definitely due to the high amount of inventory we've carried over. And when there's high inventory and the sales are even average or lower, you're going to be sticking into that buyer's market. Now, looking at total sales, we had a pretty significant drop from July to August at a total of 382 sales, which is down 20.74% from last month, but it is up 12.02% from this time last year. So you see, when you compare month to month, sometimes you can see the month to month be a little more dramatic. Often you're getting a better picture when you're looking at the year over year as well. The overall average sales price for all products increased 2.02% from this time last year to an average sales price of $751,763. The list to sell ratio dropped slightly to an average list to sell ratio for the month of August of 96.10%. And now looking at the average price for individual product, we did see minimal change across the board. Condos decreased 6.57% to an average price of $458,781. Townhouses saw a less than 1% decrease to an average sales price of $699,379. And single family homes went up 3.95% to an average price of $1,097,131. The average days on market is up 4.58% to an average days on market of 65 days. And we are currently sitting at 11.31 months of inventory with a total of 4,335 current active listings, which is up 3.41% from this time last year. So you're starting to see that number year over year starting to decline in terms of how much inventory we are up, as this is kind of around the time last year when the inventory started to get higher and we started to drop deeper into a buyer's market. So overall, not a gigantic change from the last month, except for the total overall sales. Again, I kind of see that as pretty average compared to, you're looking at the stats from last year. But again, just the peak of summer, getting back to school, I think September is going to be a real tell. If we notice a big drop in September as well, that'll signify if we're slowing down already as we go into, the general slower months of end of November, December, January for real estate as a whole. So we will keep a close eye on that. We will see what happens on September 17th with the rate announcement, and we will continue to track the market monthly because that's what we do here. It helps you keep a finger on the pulse, and again, it helps shed light on who's in a more opportune time to buy. Sometimes, I mean, we've been through those crazy seller markets. We know what it's like when you barely have to list your house and you have multiple offers. Now we're in the inverse of that, where you're not getting those multiple offers, you're sitting on longer, your list to sell ratio starts to decrease. But again, now we are in the opportune time for buyers. So that's going to wrap up the real estate monthly market report overviewing the stats in the Central Okanagan of August in 2025. Again, my name is Brett Boholij, your Okanagan real estate professional and relocation specialist. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date with all the monthly market updates. And if you are moving here and you are relocating and you want more information on Kelowna, more information on the Okanagan, surrounding towns, what it's like to live here, what it's like to move here, then you're going to want to subscribe to my channel, Living in Kelowna, BC, for a ton of information that's going to really help you out. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at the information on the screen right now and linked in the description down below, and let me know if you have any questions. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.